Hello and welcome to a not weekly live stream. This is me cutting a release. I should have probably changed the title card here. The release that I'm cutting today will be uploaded to that link down at the bottom. That is also where you can find a link to join the Discord and hang out with all the other fellow Mythrunians. It's a cool bunch so far. I highly recommend it. Before we get too much farther, let me thank the patrons. You guys help keep my lights on here, so that's good. So without further ado, I got a lot to accomplish in a short time. I don't want to make this a really long live stream, so we are going to get started. I was trying to pre-do a couple things, like many of my open source projects are like not released right now, so I have to build some of the images on Windows and some on Linux, and so I usually just zip up my whole, sort of Maven repository of my SimSilica stuff and the JMonkey engine stuff, and so I was in the process of copying those over, and I was going to get the unzip started because it takes a while. So I have like this release instructions that I follow, and I've jumped ahead a little bit. So we're going to do this. So I'm not sure if anybody's on yet, in which case you're not being bored by this. But we'll get to testing the game in a second. But I wanted to get that started. It can take a while, so yeah, and so no, that's the next one, which we can technically do over here. Oh wait, oh, okay, it finished. It was quick. So we can just do this. Womp womp. Alrighty. Okay. So one last tweak I was doing was I was changing it so that the Gafen that spawn in the world will, now that I can give them different colors and stuff, I was having them do different colors. So, excuse me. So I think we will try to see if we can get away with this. So basically every placed Gafen, oh, we're in the wrong place. That's a butterfly. So every placed Gafen will run randomize coloring. And then we have the ability to do that at runtime because it's like an option on the thing, just to play with it. But that means any of the spawns and so on. So before I get started on the release itself, anybody? It says I have 2 concurrent viewers. If you're on, welcome. Before I get started, let me just test this, and then I'll commit it, and then we can get started making the release. We'll see if we can get the release done before my Pepsi runs out. This live stream is not sponsored by Pepsi, but it could be if they'd send me enough money. I do purchase a lot of Pepsi products. So I've been testing, I named it Zelda just so it starts with a Z and ends at the end. I've been testing the Gafen over here because it's near spawn and there's not a whole lot of other things going on. And it's dark, of course, because it seems to always be. Oh, we can go forward now. Alright, we'll pause it there because that's a decent. So let me make sure that Gafen will spawn without error. Yep. And so they should be, yeah, slightly. Some of them will be a little gaudy because I haven't really worked out. But they'll all be slightly different colors now. Yep, check it out. We can do a similar thing for the random butterflies. Ooh. Yeah. Which would be better looking if we do this. So I just peppered the whole area with butterflies. We can bump the lighting up a little. There we go. So yeah, some of the Geffen look a little pink, but you know, for now I think it shows variation and they don't all look identical, which kind of bugged me a little bit. I felt like when I toned it down, like you could never see any difference, but every now and then you'll get like this really pink one. Whereas the butterflies tend to be more... I did this other thing where if you look at the butterfly, it'll show you when there's like right now 8 different forms of butterfly. 6 of them have fixed colors and 2 of them have random colors. And so if you find a butterfly, and the random color is a rarer kind of butterfly. So if you find one, it'll like say in its description, maybe there's a quest in the future, but like the regular blue morpho style, for example, if I click on it to look at it, if it sits still, there we go. There we go. He's just a pretty butterfly. And so you can check them out. The native butterflies are more prevalent, so the blue morpho and the monarch are the most prevalent, and then these, you know, red alternate color monarch are slightly more rare. Like these purple are the most rare, other than the random colors. They don't say so, but of the 3 fixed color ones, these will be rarer, and then the purely random color are the rarest still, and they'll actually say they're rare. Because potentially that is, you know, because it's random, like this butterfly here that's kind of a brown color, you can't see it here, but because the light's in the wrong direction, but you see it's kind of a brownish color. That means he's rare, and that may be the only butterfly like that in the whole world. So anyway, got a lot of... Whoa, hold on. Morph system static object, morph system static object. Great iron blocks. There must be a dungeon nearby, and I keep moving in and out of the dungeon, but still, so this is one of the things I do is I go through and I see what's getting ridiculous. So morph system is one that's being too verbose with its logging, so we'll go turn that down. So I run through like some smoke tests. First let me go ahead and commit these changes, and maybe I will tweak it down to be just a little bit less gaudy. Status, so we gonna change the things. Standard mobs, test objects. What did I change about test objects? Standard mobs is one I need. Test objects. Oh yeah, I made the Geffen a standard. Okay, so if on Linux it's actually cool, you know, the shell lets you add like it auto completes the things that are dirty in the repo, but on Windows it doesn't happen. So random Geffen spawn colors. Alright, push that up. Password blank 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 blank. And then the morph system is what I wanted to look at. I think it's under sim. Morph system. Somebody in here is logging it too high a level. Yeah, so we will... Yeah. So already I lowered the threshold of some other things. So let's just scroll back through and see if there's anything else that was like, yeah, so Agent container, probably going to be a problem. Agent system sometimes has a lot of things to remove. But it's this more, wow, static object unloaded, so, all of these down here. Yeah, because they're going to, like, yikes. The thing is, probably we want to be filtering these better than we are. Oh, this is just a, yeah, it's a listener, so it's going to get notified about every object change. So let's turn these to debugs. So this is part of my release process, is, you know, cleaning up logs. I think, in fact, it says in the release checklist to check for any logs that need to be cleaned up. And that one's crazy. So there was basically a dungeon nearby, is my guess. And dungeons are full of objects between the treasure chests and the grates and the, yeah, so it's like, assembly shape factory is probably also going to want to drop down. So that would be under here. Yep. Because I think the other ones have already been converted to, whoa. Alright. So anyway, if you guys are actually on and are having a good, decent week, I hope you're having a decent week anyway. Let me go just double check that the live stream is still running. It is. All right. Oops. Oh yeah, I want to look for log info. All right. Okay. Everybody else is quiet. Let's just run one more time before cutting the release. I usually do all my testing on the release itself, but since we made code modifications already. All right. Testing is kind of fun because it forces me to play the game. You know, as long as I don't find problems, I get to just play the game for a little while, which is kind of fun. But not yet. We're just checking things out. So we're going to watch the logs and see if there's anything being crazy. We'll go back to this one because there's a dungeon nearby that was causing hectic issues. Like there was a bunch of stuff back up here. Oh, progress tracker. Yeah, that's normal. Yeah, I wish I could suppress that tangent by normal. So these are all because I have like a ton of AI stuff going on around here. And so I'm not going to worry too much about that. But I think that I put a dungeon down here in the valley. Yeah. So that's where all of those... whoa, what's going on here? Oh yeah, the dungeon generated partially outside. It generated above ground because I got my directions wrong. So that's kind of cool. Let's select the block wand. Oops. Inventory. So then we can like cut a hole in one of these roofs. See what's going on. Boink. Oh, it's a red room. Boink. So we're in a dungeon, but that dungeon is now lit from above. Oh, snow in that one. Yeah, so see now we've got more light in this dungeon. Anyway, so we like dumped right into the treasure room. That's like good. So they'll have to be, for the real dungeon, you know, I have to, it'll probably be magic disabled for the build wand. So that you can't just cheese through the dungeon by deleting all the walls and stuff. Anyway, there's my Gafen. All different colors, shapes, and sizes. I think that's what, oops, it's X so we can walk. Otherwise we scare them all. I was thinking of doing variations for the dog. This is like a yellowish one. For the dog, but I kind of want to spend more time on that and not just cheap out with like skin color changes. Alright, so I think that it's probably ready for formal testing, so we'll go through the release checklist, we'll do all that cool stuff. Oh yeah, those pink ones. Thing is, I tweaked it to not be so crazy. Like, yeah, the yellow and the pink are really gaudy. Yeah. So that's as probably pink as it gets now. That's just okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I mean, it just makes them so they don't look all identical. Alright. So that's good. Let's check the... yeah, I gotta fix the holding system. So I'm not exactly sure what my next focus is going to be. But I have some things in mind, and so I've like keyed up some tasks, but like I have some mob work to do. I have this idea of every release from here on out including some kind of new creature and some kind of new random structure that appears in the world. I'm not doing that for this release because I didn't set out to do that, and so I'm like short on a random structure. Technically we could count the colored butterflies as new creatures if we really wanted to split hairs. So I will try to add a creature and add, even if it's just like birds or something, and add a new structure which I have in mind already. And then I want to enhance the mob AI a little bit so that they can deal with 3D a little better. But I think I'm going to push off a little bit on that, and I want to start focusing on inventory and interaction between inventory and the world and opening other chests and things, because that will be the basis for, you know, loot gathering and crafting and a bunch of other things. And if I can get it, I want to find a way to make dragging objects in the world feel good, so I want to spend some time on that. And I have some ideas on, you know, using multiple mouse buttons and maybe the mouse wheel and some ways to help you position him. In my ideal world, two people would be able to... So then the other idea is that as you do things, that you can zoom in on an area. So if you had a table and you're trying to place, you know, cups and things on the table, like you can zoom in and get them exactly where you want and stuff. And so in my ideal world, a player could craft like a chessboard or a checkerboard and, you know, make little checker pieces, and two people could play checkers. If I get it right, that it wouldn't be like a completely frustrating experience. It wouldn't be like something you'd want to do necessarily, but to get that to the point where you could do it and it wouldn't be a completely frustrating experience, then I know I've got like the controls where I want them. So that's what I want to spend some time on, I think. If I can make that feel kind of natural. I have limited... I want to use limited buttons because I still sort of have this idea that, you know, gamepads would work and even VR would work. And so I want to limit, like, reuse buttons when I can. That's why I like the idea of being able to zoom in, because a bunch of buttons wouldn't matter anymore and you could use them for... Like, even WASD could technically be used if you're zoomed in on an area. I can't decide how I want to initiate the zoom. I don't know if it's if you drag an object out of your inventory into the world, if it automatically zooms where you've dragged it, or if you have to like click your middle mouse button or something. So that's something I still have to work out, something that feels right. Okay, let's close a bunch of this stuff in case we have to open new things. Boink, boink, boink. Yeah, I was relearning how I wanted to make the butterflies a little less random. They don't flock to flowers or anything right now because there's no 3D navigation for mobs. And so I looked at that the other day, and so I had to relearn why they fly at all right now, because all of the steering is done in 2D. And so I wrote some notes and did that, but I didn't have time to do it for this release. But here's my release instructions. So, yeah, so I haven't changed. I still build a dist zip for anybody who doesn't have one of the standard Windows or Linux platforms. They can still run the game. And so there's, because of a sort of a bug in one of the Gradle plugins I use, I have to keep a separate Gradle. At any rate, I try to make sure they match, but I don't think I've changed. And like it's like a visual diff I do between these. I always think I haven't changed it, but then like I'll go through each time, and yeah, so that's the difference. Is like one of them has this barracks runtime, and maybe they fixed the problem. I did report the bug, but I haven't heard, I haven't checked back to see if they fixed it. But when it's enabled, some platform start stuff gets overwritten, and so then the dist zip stops working. So I keep 2 build files right now. Yeah, so everything's the same except for the parts that are commented out, of course. Yeah, so it's like a visual diff I do. Alright, so everything's the same. We're good. I can go to the next step in my release instructions. Make sure dependency projects are cleaned and committed as much as possible. Yeah. Similar, clean up any extraneous logging in libraries. That's what we did already. Make sure the protocol... Oh! This is why we have a checklist. Because I would have certainly forgotten. So usually it only matters when I've updated the network or updating the networking in some way, and I believe I have this time because maybe I didn't, but it doesn't hurt to basically what this controls is if you tried to connect to the server that has a different protocol version, it will tell you that you have a mismatched client and server. And so it's usually a good idea. I know I added new entity components, so it's just safer to go ahead and set that. Make sure Mythruna code is all committed. I think I already did. The other thing I do is make sure that I don't, like I need to clean this up, but make sure I don't have any uncommitted. Well, let's start from the top. So any resources that need to be, no, those are, nobody's complained about the Linux version missing these so far, so they must be alright. All these are scripts, so we're good. And then I make sure that I don't have any unadded stuff that needs to go in. It's all good. Source main, Blender I can ignore. Resources, no, don't use that. No, don't use that. Okay. And rigor, don't use any of that stuff. Resources, sounds. I don't think we used the wind, heavy blowing snow. But again, nobody's complained about it if they tried to run the Linux version. That's what would happen, is the Linux version would be missing these if they're not committed. All right, so all that's good. Double check the warning message, help text, etc. I kind of already did that, but we'll do it as we run the game. Don't be a dummy. Yeah, run the tool in a variety of UI sizes. So this is something I skip sometimes, and always when I do it, I regret it because like I'll have forgotten something. So what I do is, it's kind of a pain. Wow. But I set the I set this to a non, like a regular 4:3 aspect ratio. That's not it. 1024 by 768 would be. So let's do 1024 by 768. So see, it's like more square, and so I make sure the UIs don't clobber each other. This is what I was talking about before. I make sure this hasn't changed in forever. Yep, I just double check that. All this is stuff. This is the same. So, yeah, usually I would double check these, but these also have not changed in many releases. So just to make sure that the UIs don't clobber each other, though there's bound to be some of that in this narrow aspect. I think probably most people have wide monitors now. So let's run fade. So that's the other thing. I should have created a new character, but we are going to create a new character when I start, when I create a new world. With the release that we will be cutting momentarily. Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately the debug text does not resize, so when you're in these smaller screens the debug text is huge compared to the rest of the screen. We should be able to bring these up. Map, yeah, so it overlaps slightly but it does work. Journal, that's good. Character, it's alright. We can edit blueprints. Yeah, I fixed, by the way, that these collide, so that's one of the things I fixed. It's again tight but works. Back to selection, workbench, just add design. So again, it's tight but it works. It's not ideal, but it works. Discard changes because it doesn't know. So all that still fits. It's again tight, but it works. Torso, yeah. So again, it's tight, but it works. I really like that leather vest. Property is usually the problem child. Yeah, so the help ends up over the window because it can't fit on the screen. But it's all right. It's like technically workable. Yeah, I didn't actually shoot. So yeah, I didn't actually back out of here. So that's something I still have to fix, is the UI state. All right, so all that seems to be working. I don't think there are any other UIs that pop up. I think if we talked to the NPC, yeah. Oh, I totally forgot that makes sound. No, I'm still looking. All right, see you later. All right. Okay, so we checked the screen aspect ratio, and now we'll build the dist zip. As soon as it's done shutting down, dist zip, brink. And then we will build the platform distribution. For any of you who have to cut a release of something, I highly recommend developing one of these checklists. It has saved me so much time and errors and things, and especially if I haven't cut a release in like 6 months. It definitely helps. Boop, 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 boo. Okay, so we got that done. Okay, so this is where I test, before I start building the Linux version and uploading things, and I can't easily test in multiplayer. I can try to connect to my server, and it'll tell me that the protocols are different, and so that's what we'll do. And so I need to make temp3, cd temp3, and I just know I have to use the jar program instead of the, oops. So we want the one built today, and it'll bump, 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 bump. Okay. And the other thing I'm going to do, blueprints dot. I like to test that this still works. I will do clothing too. Clothing. Yeah. And actually, I need to move these down to. I like to make sure these work, so you can still import stuff. All right. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Shoot. Yeah, I went to the wrong directory. So there's nothing in here. I leave those old ones around just because sometimes I have... Yeah, sorry. That was my mistake. Talking and doing this at the same time. Temp, Mythruna client. Blueprints to temp3 Mythruna client. I'm a pack rat when it comes to data. Until I start running out of space, I will keep all kinds of garbage around. All right, so I want to make sure to go back because we will appreciate the world much more if it's a bigger size. All right, so single player. Oh wait. Oops. Yeah, I could host a multiplayer, but let's try to join my server. Okay, so my server pops up. If I try to connect to it, it's going to tell me, nope, I can't. I have to use the older version. Okay, so that's working. We could host a multiplayer, which would sort of test networking, but really single player is already hosting a multiplayer. So we will create a new world, and we will call it 2024-08-05, and as custom 2024-08-05 is the seed I will use. Preview it, see what kind of thing we get. Okay, so potentially we're in here somewhere, but probably we're on this giant continent right there. All right, generate, creating the world. Bump, 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 womp, womp. Hey, the four of you hanging out with me while I build a release. That's cool. Or while I test the release. So I usually run through all the paces. I create a character. I check out the two things and make sure they still switch. If I had more, I'd check them all. So we'll make a human female. We'll call her Jane Human. And test out some of the hair color stuff. Let's give her dark hair and maybe some pale skin, like pinkish pale. There we go. All right, so I don't know who she's supposed to be, but she's Jane Human. Save and continue, and we'll play. And this will take a little longer, and I make sure that the that's the other thing. Tail-f client.log, so I can so I can watch the logs still, and so we can watch it generate the far terrain poise and points of interest. The first time you create a world, it takes a little longer, as you guys have probably noticed. And that's because it's got these other things that it does. to prep the world for us to actually get in. Normally this is super quick once the world's been generated the first time. And yeah, so once it's done generating the far poise, things go much faster because it's just got to generate the few near tiles. And the rest it makes us wait for in the game. So usually I will check the map and watch the map come in. While doing that, I can come in here and I can say blueprints, and I can go new blueprint. I can try to import, come on, close, there we go. Import one of my existing ones. So let's import the bed. Okay, and let's, I really should pick up the name. Bed. Right, let's use carved materials. I kind of like it better uncarved, actually. Alright, save blueprint. Okay, so we got the blueprint. Let's try clothing. Let's, new clothing. Let's import something. Aged leather vest. Select. Alright, so we'll save aged leather vest. Save the clothing, and then we can go over here and dress her because she's basically wearing nothing, and she should wear something. Yeah, because it's still working on stuff, it's yeah, taking a little while to so let's load the pants with belts and some cuffed boots. Alright, that's good enough. So all that's still working. If we go back to the map, yep, we can see that all the far tiles have loaded. And so we could, basically what I usually do is head to the nearest town to make sure the NPCs generate it correctly. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, we seem to be in icy terrain. That's kind of cool. So anyway, a lot of times I just jump out of the tower. When I test, I actually run through the tower just to make sure nothing bad has happened. Okay, so we want to head in this roughly this general direction. I can talk now. I hope the chat is actually working and that you guys haven't tried to chat and it's just not showing up. Alright, so yeah, usually I will, okay, so we are just icy up here. So yeah, I've gone too fast. This is, so we're standing on marshmallow terrain until the advanced, or the regular block terrain goes in. Alright, so let's see if we can spot those towns. I think they might be still a little far away. Yeah. I think, anyway, that they won't pop in until we cross this border. So this particular world is not, this is an incorrect world, and these are going to happen probably, but when the real towns are generated, there should have been a town that generated within sight of the spawn and probably along the coastlines here. Probably there would have been a river when rivers generate. Anyway, towns are mostly random. There is some preference for generating them close to the spawn, but it's not guaranteed, and probably because all of this is icy, so it wasn't going to generate there. So here I am control flying, which is hitting control and shift at the same time while I use the Q to kind of pop myself up. It's just a way of traveling super fast, and every now and then I will stop and let the world catch up, because there are some stability issues if you fly faster than the terrain can generate. There's a tower down there, and they're not like stuff I'm willing to fix at the moment because it's an aggressive overuse and abuse of the engine. So yeah, I can see that town. So Maybe it's farther than I thought to the range that we can see. So we will head over there. Usually I'll find the NPC and I'll do their quest, and I usually actually do the quest, which means I walk to where I'm going. In fact, it's not a bad idea to do a little walking on the ground as it is. Let's make sure. Yep, everything's still loaded. So this is one of the worlds that has like a very stark climate, quote-unquote biome change, which is a bug in the generation. Hey, but there's flowers right here next to the snow. We've already got butterflies. So that's nice. Two monarch varieties. So yeah, I like run through the woods for a little while, just test all the things. I think we can make sure removing and placing a block works, that kind of thing. Hit the object tool. Let's place a chair here in the middle of the woods. Move the chair around. Turn the chair physical. And then whack it. Make it fall over. Yep. Okay, so everything's working. And then I will clean up my mess. Alright, so let's just pop up above the trees, because normally I actually play the game and I will walk all the way to this town because it gives me a chance to play. But it also lets the world load a little better. Plus, there's something about, especially towns that are in the middle of the woods like this, just coming out of the trees and finding yourself pop in the middle of a town is kind of cool. I can't wait till there are roads and paths, because I would really like to walk the meandering path between towns and stuff. From experience, having even in the old Mythruna where I had worked on some path generation, it was just a lot of fun to just kind of follow the roads around through the woods. Yeah, so if we pop up high enough, it should stop maybe generating all those butterflies. See, we're flying over wooded area, and so it's generating an F-ton of butterflies. Probably, I wonder what the temperature is here. So here's a trick, if you're curious, because the trees are not very differentiated at this point. Yeah, so here's a tree line from the between the live stream and the generation. This is having a bad time. All right. So with the test wand, you can actually click and it will tell you sort of what the climate info is. I'm clicking, but the game is not telling me anything. Huh. Are they working at all? Yeah, okay, so here's a really ugly the first random one I generated is really ugly. Okay, so that's working. Why can't something is going wrong here. And we see there's a lot of logging. We saw a too late to catch it. But there was actually looked like a stack trace that went by. So appearance system is spamming, so that's something we'll have to fix and recut the release. I think I'll fix it while we wait. Yeah, so my whole system is really bogged down at the moment. Like, it's not even showing the task manager window, like the little task manager status. CPU 50%. Okay, So let's fix the appearance system real quick. That's a new thing because all of the butterflies now hit the appearance system. Whoa, mark, edit, mark. Okay, I just want to be able to scroll back and look. Okay, so those are just the long style queries. Interesting. Alright, so let's find all these log infos. Calculate base shape, yep. So the thing is, like, I can set these log levels at runtime now, so even if I did want to see something, I can always turn them on in the game console. Yeah, that actually turns out to be true almost every time. Alright. Yeah, even like scrolling in here is really slow, and this is the fastest editor you'll ever find. This is why we test. Alright, so this should only work for NPCs, but I'm still going to we'll leave that in because that really will only work for NPCs. Alright. Ooh. Alright. Okay, so we've done that, but we've got a lot of... And I don't know if it's... Yeah, so that already streamed already. And the, tail was just having trouble catching up. So it's at this point where I've already, sort of fouled the release. And so we go back to previous steps, although I won't retest everything. So appearance system, yeah, so we got a ton of stuff because every time it deleted an object, it did all of that stuff. So appearance system is crazy verbose. Object type registry, probably also too verbose. But butterfly encounter, I'm okay with these for now, but that's really, holy moly. So yeah, let's like lower agent system as well. Oh boy, yeah. Check that out. So this is left over from some debugging of some other stuff. The thing is, a lot of times in normal use, these things are useful, but when you're control flying over the world, it's really spamming everything. Like like everything is happening on an accelerated timetable, right? Yeah, okay, so that gets rid of a lot of it. Zip, so we'll redo the dist zip. And what's the other? Always cut and paste the command. Okay. So yeah, this is what cutting release is like. Alright, build platform dists. Alright, so that one was built just now, just confirming. CD temp 3, jar xvf. Boink. That's the one. So we will overwrite all the stuff. And we will rerun. We'll go back into our world where we were and continue what we were doing. Which just happens to be this world is a good world for testing in a sense because let's see. It worked some stuff that wouldn't normally work because normally there's a town much closer to the spawn. Alright, so we will continue the last world. Bump, bump, bump. Hopefully all works. Yeah, it's disappointing that my little, there it goes. It's back! So 5 of you hanging out watching me play the game to make a release. Welcome, welcome. If you are new to the channel, say hi. In the upper left corner of the screen is the link where you can download the last release, which is from the 1st of July or the beginning of July. And that will be where this release is when I upload it in a little bit. Maybe like 10 minutes, I'll upload it. It won't be available to download until later. Alright, so we're going to freeze time and find out which direction we're going. M for map. Ooh, we're going the wrong way. Somewhere up here, right? Yep. Okay, so we headed this way. We'll pass a bunch of butterflies and trees. Here's the tree line. Yeah, between like these map lines, like if you look along the map lines, it won't generate trees, and that's a bug in the generation that I have to fix. But it is convenient because it kind of acts like a little road in the world, and man, it generated a lot of flowers along here. This is a very... Okay, so we couldn't get the climate info thing to work. The climate info is still not working. Yeah, we get like a... Okay, so let's kill this. Alright. Click. Because it's tail log, I can't just right click and... Why is it not working? So something is going on with this test wand. And okay, that's fine. Alright. I don't know why. Will debug arrow work? Yep. Okay. But climate info is not working for some reason. Alright, well that's not a problem I'm willing to solve for this release. Where's my town? That's not it. It's this way. Up that way. There we go. Alright, let's stop fooling around. Let's like really kill the system again. So what we're testing here is something I can't easily test just on my own, which is that the town NPC generates correctly, that it generates a quest correctly, that we don't get any crashes from that. Speaking of which, I need to re-enable the log tail. Yeah, alright, so boink. Let's go back out here. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so we'll approach the town from the woods because it's usually cooler. But I wanted to say, because it's got pine trees, this can't be a pure rainforest biome, I think. But because there's no tree differentiation, it's hard to tell unless you click the ground with this, you know, climate info. And for some reason that's not working, and I'm concerned that it's a more serious issue, but it's hard to tell here because the logs are so busy for normal legit stuff. Yeah, so we've got a town up here. Alright. Yeah, so see, nothing actually is being echoed to the screen. Like in the console, nothing is being echoed. Because like I should have seen that I was entering the town. So something is broken. And that's serious. That's serious enough that I need to fix it. Because you'll see when we talk to the NPCs and stuff, and we won't even get our little hint. Is this an actual town? Oh no, this is a village ahead of the town. Alright, so that's... okay. Villages don't get NPCs. Yet. So we couldn't see the town, we just saw the village on the way. Okay. There's the town. There should be another town within sight, not far behind. But I'm really concerned about the... I didn't change anything that should affect... maybe I did. Oh. And we wouldn't have gotten a message for approaching a village, so that doesn't prove anything either. I think I know why the text isn't showing up. I have a theory anyway. And if it is true, then if everything else is working except for the wand text, I'm okay with that for this release. Yeah, okay, so we're getting... yeah, so cool. That NPC not only generated, but it's got 3 pets. Alright, so let's head to it through the woods. Let's approach the town as we were meant to approach. By walking. Whoa, we're real choppy with the live stream going. So let's run. Run. Alright, so here's the town. Let's find the NPC. So another thing that's tradition for me to do, and actually this will test to see if the console's working. Oh, it's working, we already know because we can see the... but I see, double check that there are no marks existing. Usually the first thing I do is either look for the NPC or the airport, because I try to mark all the airports as... see, is the NPC over here at this temple? No NPC here. So it must be another temple. There's the other temple. NPCs prefer to generate in the temple. Yep, and there he is. All his pets, I can see him. Okay, so he generated 3 Gafen. No doggies. But each Gafen's a slightly different color. That's working. So let's talk to him. Hi, I'm Jane Human. Hi, I'm Thorul Timivalvolsa. Yeah, I have some trouble. I can try to... okay, I remember it was from a plot of... oh, cornstalks is the hardest one. Probably about 1.5 kilometers. Oh, it's far, too. They really want me to take the time. I can try to find it for you. Okay. So yeah, so the fact that all this other text is working, I think what happened is, so in order to get um, with the resources working, oh, see, that's not okay. So the fact that it has that little 0 next to it, I can't show you without turning it off. So down there's the dirt cube, and it has a 0 next to it. That's basically how many of these I can make, from my current resources. To set that, I send a text message attached to the wand that I'm holding, and the thing that keeps track of all that stuff, intercepts it and knows, oh, okay, it starts with focus text, and I need to put that at there. So it's kind of like a trick. But that's also the same thing that if I hadn't intercepted, it would have let the tool echo things right to the console. And so that particular code is intercepting and not displaying it. And I'm okay with that. In fact, what I'll do is I will put a bug. Oh, I did this. Okay, so I can say done. I will put a bug. I'm going to kill this because I think that's part of what's going so slow. His tail's not keeping up. Bug held tool cannot echo to console. We'll set that for the next release. I think it's probably an easy fix. I'm not 100% sure about it. And it's, to do. Okay. All good. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So the NPC gave us a quest. Let's check the map, see where the quest is. Up there. It's not too bad. It's not quite 1.5 kilometers. I guess it is diagonally. And so this is cool. Like when I test for a long time, I like the fact that I like it when the NPC gives me a quest on the way to the next town, because I usually like to go to each town near spawn. So the next thing I do is I find the usually I walk around and find it, but today we'll cheat. There's the airport. Did you guys know this was an airport? If you guys have heard me talk about this before, you know this is the airport. That's where the airships will dock for this particular town. It's a small airport, right? It's just for occasional docking. It can't handle more than one at a time, that kind of thing. All right, so usually what I do is here is, so I'm in town 1658, so I will mark this spot as airport 1658, so I can teleport back here whenever I want. All right, so let's find we're heading in this direction. Let's go find the NPC. Yeah, so here's when you're on the ground and you're running, I'll hit the control and you'll see it goes super fast. It doesn't seem that way when you're flying up in the air, but it is super fast. We are moving right now at like 22 meters per second or something. It's choppy, so it's hard to tell, but that's what the max is supposed to be when you're flying this way, is like 20 meters per second. So there's going to be a farm or just random corn growing in the middle of the woods over here somewhere. This is the quietest chat I've ever had on one of these live streams. It's kind of cool. But I hope the chat is actually working. Alright, so somewhere in here. Normally I'd walk, like I said, but we're kind of in a hurry because I've already been doing this an hour and I meant it to be done by now. You know, it takes as long as it takes. Alright, where are we in the respect to... we're still pretty far away. I'm not seeing any farms. Ah, there's the farm. Is that the one? Yeah, probably. So, finding the axe in a farm is probably the hardest of the quests, even though And you can see why the NPC, you know, in theory would have lost it, because they hide pretty well. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's fall and stop killing the engine. Alright. There we go. Fall. Okay. Okay, let's move around the branches here. Jeez. Okay, so we'll zoom in. Alright, so somewhere up here in the corn stalks. There's a farm up here. Alright. Now, right now, this circle is always centered exactly on the item, which sometimes is the only reason you can find these things. Actually, this one might not be too bad. It doesn't look like it's actually in the corn. Maybe, though. Oh, boy. Yeah, sometimes for some reason... Did it again. So if I for some reason bringing the map up rather, shifts the view, and so when you come back, you're facing in a different direction than you were before. Like if you move the mouse a little bit or something. All right, so we're getting close. It should tell us that we're getting close in a second. Oh, so I should have checked the journal. Make sure it's all working. Yeah, so he's indicated about a kilometer. Blah blah blah. Near a plot of near a plot of corn stalks. Yep. And so I could have cheated and it would take me right here. I can see it. Usually they're quite difficult to find. I have to go up and down the corn rows until I find one. Okay, we got it. So now we can take it back to him. And usually I complete the quest. That looks cool, actually. It's a cool view. The corn stalks. I can't wait till they blow in the breeze. Lots of butterflies. Alright, so here we can cheat and just head right back to Thorul. Alright, so we'll talk to him. We'll say, hey, I found your item. Oh, thanks. And so it took it out of our backpack. We can confirm that it's closed in our journal. We can confirm that it's not in our backpack anymore. And so the other thing that I should test that is new, that I previously would not normally have tested, is the choppable blocks. So let's go and carve up the corner of this building up here. So let's swing from the top. We'll come here and we'll chop, 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 boink, boink, boink. Oh yeah, it's not pretty sometimes, but it works. There's some client-server synchronization that has to happen. All right, so we're chopping away at the bricks. Let's do sides, left, boink, 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 boink. Yep, there we go. Oops, yep, boink. Alright, so it's all working. What else to test? I think that's it. So then, this release looks good. I could have gone through the settings menus, but we kind of did a little bit. So let's just make sure. So then what I'll do, grep the logs for errors. Whoops. Okay, those are normal. Those are normal. Yeah, those happen sometimes, especially when flying fast. Let's just check warnings just in case. Oh yeah. Lots of those. They're all detect frames going too slow. we went too fast and the networking got confused, but it all recovers, you know, so that's fine. It's like you can see all these removing old unmatched messages, zone range found for no change, blah 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 blah. No zone range found for no change. So basically, we're creating and removing objects from the networking faster than it can catch up. So it goes to like update the object and it's already gone, kind of thing. Okay, so we've got lots of frame lag that we detected, which is, you know, I detected that walking around too, as a matter of fact. Let me make sure nobody's like telling me something on here. Okay, nope. Okay, just a quiet chat tonight. Okay. All right, so we did the test of the Windows bundle. Now we need to bundle the version for Linux, but we did make some changes, so git status. We'll go ahead and commit those. Oh yeah, and I forgot to commit the so we'll do that. We don't have to retest after this, it's just committing the code. Alright. Updated protocol version. Yeah. I get in the habit of like always pushing after a commit. More reduced log levels. Okay, so now we are set to make the Linux version, which means I already did that. I think I already did that. Yep, I already did all this. Okay, so then we do this, and I need to make this a script. Boink. And we do this. Yeah. Paste, boink. Alright. Alrighty. I can do that. Boink. And then we cut the Linux version. Should go lickety split. So y'all having a good week so far? So this was supposed to be, I call it the birthday release because my birthday was last Wednesday and I meant to have this ready for then. So we're not doing too bad because, you know, we're still within a week. And now I can focus on the next release, and I'm not sure. I want to try to get one out before like September, and then another one for Halloween, and we can do another like Halloween costume party maybe. See who joins that this year on the public server. So I want to try to get 2 releases out before Halloween, but we'll see. Alright, so that's it. Usually test the builds. I usually go down and test it on my Linux machines that I sit at in person. But that's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Alright, so I probably could have just typed that. But again, I have in mind to oh no, actually that should have been on here anyway. And what I need to do here is just see what the name of it is. Okay, so boink, 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 boink. And then what we do is SCP. Oh. So unfortunately, that's something I can't script because the name changes each time. Or at least it's non-trivial to script it. Alright, so we've got everything downloaded. We go to the server and we do that. Yeah, cd.server. Great old distip the server. And then I start the upload process, and I won't make you guys sit through the upload process, but probably what's going to happen is I'm going to upload the binaries, which can take a while. And then, yeah, upload to mythruna.com. And then I will tag, though. I always forget. That's a new step I've added. Git commit client release instructions. Added instruction to tag git. And so what is it just git tag? Git help tag. Making sure there's no, yeah. Yeah. So git I think it's just git tag dash a or git tag. Let's call it R 2024 0805. Let's see. And then I think it's git push origin. What is it? How to get the push the tag? New tag. All right. So it should tell me like I'm on that tag, I think. Nope, still origin master. We're good. But I should have made a tag. Let's GitHub Mythruna. All of my secrets. So now there should be tags. Tag. Yep. And that's tagged from today. Uh-oh. Oh. Did I not? Oh. Alright. I didn't push before I did it, did I? Yeah. Okay. Okay, okay, that's better. Alright, cool. Yeah, so I hadn't pushed that other change to the release notes before I did it. Alright, so we're all good there. Then what I do is I come over here to Mythruna, and unfortunately, so this is the really painful part because I'm still using WordPress. If I generated a static site, then this could be automatic. Hey, how's it going? The first person to talk in a chat after an hour and 20 minutes. That's awesome. Okay, so then I go to plugins. There it is, downloads. And so what I do is I copy forward the descriptions from all of my old ones with slight changes. And so I open them all up, and then I pull out this and I say add new, and I start the process because basically I'm not going to make you guys sit through it, but I can upload all the files at once. If I come over here, select the files, and so we will upload this one, we will upload this one. They're roughly the same size. That's good. So we will start those uploads going, and we will start Distributions, we will start this upload going. And one more. We will start. I should have just closed that server. Build distributions. We will start the server uploading, which is super quick. And so these will take a while, and then what happens is, so I'm going to eat dinner and watch some stuff. Nice. Cool. Yeah, I'm about to drop off the stream here, because this is going to take a while to upload, and you guys don't want to watch me monkey with WordPress to get my release notes pages built, which is a super pain in the butt. Hi. Thanks for dropping in, and thanks for adding to the chat. We've had 4 or 5 people on, but everybody's been quiet. So either they're just like listening to me in the background or just hanging out watching. So I'll get these uploaded, and I'll have to create each of those pages and then add them to the main page, and it's all WordPress editing stuff, which is a pain in the butt. And then I have to upgrade the server before I actually post the link around. So probably later tonight, could be after midnight, I'll post up the links for everything, and you guys can download the latest version that has the resource management and the colored butterflies and the slight variation on Gaphin colors and stuff like that. But as it stands, I think we're just gonna end it here. I can't pronounce your name, Elg. I'll just call you Elg if that's okay. But thanks for joining. All right, guys, I'm gonna say thanks. Like, comment, subscribe. I do still plan to do. Yeah, like if you download the one that I'm pushing up tonight, it'll have the new butterflies in it. That's one of the reasons I wanted to cut this release, is because it'll have the butterflies and the new resource usage stuff that you can see and start collecting resources. Even though it's not really using them, you can see that collected and make sure it works okay. But yeah, as you wander around, you'll see random butterflies around. Anyway, so yeah, later after midnight or so, and I'll post it to Twitter and Discord and all the other places that the release is up after I upgrade the server, make it compatible and stuff like that. Other than that, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and upper left corner on the back of the earlier videos where you can download the game and join the Discord and all that other good stuff. If you're not already on the Discord, there's a good bunch of people over there. Check it out. And thanks a lot for joining. Thanks for joining at the last minute, Elg. Good luck with your project. I'm going to go eat some dinner. See you guys.